myself Harshika. This is my new video on a worshipping on death, and this video it's give you the different perspective of a death. What is a death? What is the power of death, and how death is impact in our life? Because the death is a energy. The death is a universal power. Death has a power to create a permanent change, a permanent transformation. And when we talk about the death, it's creating a fears. There is a lots of fears when we talk about the death. The death is an energy which creating a deep level of sorrow, emptiness, regrets. Because when you experience the physical death, the death of your own self, the death of your own vital organs, a kidney, livers, or maybe your hand or legs, or maybe you experience the death of your loved ones. So it's only creating the emptiness, aloneness, pain. But there is a different side of death is also there. And when you see this phenomena in a different perspective, because the perspective is something like that, when you see a 6, in a one side it's become a 6, and in the other side it's become a 9. Same way the death has a perspective, but it depends upon your view, how you can see and accept the death. And in a many cultures, many religion, in a pagan religion, in a Native Americans, in a Vedic science, in a Tantra, there is a pattern to worship death. There is a rituals to worshipping, to honor, to give a respect and love to the death. Because the death, everyone hates that, everyone is just so much panic when we talk about the death. But there is a ritual, there is a science, or there is a science, there is a prayers behind it. So it's a natural thing. So now the next side of the death, there is a different types of death. Death is not just only a one type. This next type of a death is a emotional death. So the emotional death is something when your emotions are dead. You have a strong codependency with someone, you have a fears inside, you have attachment, or you have an anger issue. And when you experience death, you are emotionally transformed. And this transformation is not going to be a easy, emotional death or the emotional transformation. It's always creating the upheaval. It's always creating the major change, and the change of the death is not easy, but it's give you the permanent satisfaction, the inner peace you get. The next type of the death is a mental death, when your specific pattern is that, for example, you are the person who is very orthodox in nature, you are the person who believe in religion programming, you believe in gender stereotype, you're a very cultural and traditional person, or you have a fixed mindset. So the energy of the death is creating the transformation. This mindset is completely ended. And the change of death is always painful, or most of the time sudden and drastic. When you experiencing death, you are in a deep sorrow, you will always about in a complaining stage. But when this stage is completely over, you will just realizing your true soul purpose. It gives you a deep level of satisfaction. The third type of death is a spiritual death. So experiencing the spiritual death means the death of your old 3D self. Maybe 4 years before, you are the different person. Means if you are experiencing the death right now, after 3 to 4 years, you are a different person. So the spiritual death is always about the complete death of your old self, old 3D self. And the new self is regenerating. So the spiritual death, it's also creating the deep level of transformation, the deep level of purification. It's like completely releasing the past. Same way the death of your old relationship, because when you experience the spiritual death, you will experience the sudden ending of your relationships. If you have a toxic parents, the parents who always abuse you, the parents is always manipulating you, but you are completely blindfolded to them, because there is an ancestor program in your mind, your parents are the god. But the power of the death, if you experience the death, it will create the sudden changes in your life, and that sudden changes can gives you the revelation of a truth. So this is a divine power of a death, and you can't control the power, because the changes of a death is always sudden, drastic and unexpected. No one can predict when and where, which direction or the which time the death is enter in your life. And when death is enter in your life, it will creating the sudden changes in your relationship. Maybe you are just stuck in an abusive marriage. The marriage, your marriage partner is very nasty, very narcissistic, always draining your energy, but you have just like a no doorway how to just get out from this hell. There is no doorway. Then the death is enter in your life, or the power of death is enter in your life, and will this creating a sudden end. And when you experience the sudden end, so this sudden end can be the divorce with your partner, this sudden end can be a physical end, means your partner is going to be a die, or your parents is going to be a die, or maybe you are completely separated from that. And that kind of change, or that kind of situation, you always crying, always complaining, but this is for your highest good. So the worshipping of the death meanings we are just honoring or respecting the death, the power of death, because without death there is a no birth or the no rebirth also. And death is a very important part in every person's life. We have to accept it, we have to give the respect and love to the death, because this is not something you just fear. This is not something you can run in. No one can run from the death. You have to just accepting the process of death. If you are experiencing your own death, just accept the death. Not to create the panic, one day I will die, or I have a disease, I will die in this accident, or something bad is going to be happens. No, just accept the death with your heart. So this is a pattern of worshipping death. And in the month of a Pitr Paksh, especially in a Vedic science, this is a month of Pitr Paksh, and I am personally born in this month, in the 22 September, so I know it. So this month is all about it's taking blessing from the death, or the god of the death, Yama, the Lord Yama. So this month is only connected with the ancestors, means when you're doing meditation or ritual, it will gives you the peace and healings to your ancestor. But I can clearly say one thing, maybe most of the people don't like when I say it, because the truth is you cannot change your ancestor karma. For example, I will give you two pots, two earthen or the clay pots. You can fill the stone in one pot, and you can fill the ghee in the other pot. Now go in a river and pour. First you can just drop the stone in the water. Second you can drop the ghee in the water. What you can see, the stones are settled down, but the ghee is a flowing. Ghee is a oil, and it's become floating. Same way, if your ancestors are doing a good, there is no need to remedy, there is no need to do anything. They can float, they can reincarnate, they get peace in a soul level. Their afterlife, because after a death there is also life. Their afterlife is going to be a peaceful. But if their karmas are bad, if they are doing any kind of fraud, any kind of harassments, any kind of stolen things, if they are die with the negative emotion, the emotions of the enviness, anger, unsatisfied desire, so they you cannot change their karma. That's the truth. Because if their karmas are just like a stone, they will down. Your ancestors are going in a lower astral plane, in a hell. But if their karma is just like a ghee, they are doing the spiritual work in their life, they are helping other, they are filled with the positive energy, so they are automatically going in a higher dimension. There is no need to do anything for them. But you can worship the death. When you worship the death will send you a gift. This is something like a gift of death, something like Harry Potter moving, some magical gift the death will send you, and no one can predict what type of gift death will send you. But you are worshipping death. You can meditate on a mantra, on a yama. You can do the tarpan process. So the tarpan process is something like that. You are holding the water and releasing the water, in the process of a shraddh or the pitr paksh. You are seeing the ritual. This ritual is something like you are just holding the water and just dropping the water. So when you are holding the water and doing a circular motion and releasing it 3 times, you are holding the water and releasing it. So you are actually releasing the emotions toward your dead ancestor or toward your dead relative. You are actually just releasing the emotions. So this is a rituals you can practice if you have a problem like of the emotions. If you are holding the emotions like so much missing your ancestor, so much missing, or maybe you have any type of negative and positive emotion, you can practice the tarpan vidhi. You can meditate on a mantra. You can meditate on mantra which is related to death. You can do the affirmations which is related to death, because to worshipping death, it gives you the strength, it gives you the courage. And to worshipping death, it's not giving you the promise I will fulfill. The god of death or the angels of death is not someone who are just fulfilled your wishes. If you are worshipping on death for your reunion, it's not possible. If you are worshipping death for your marriage or success, it's not possible, because the death is sending you the gift, and that gift is totally surprise you. It's no one can predict. So this is a very important month to worshipping a death, to giving the respect, honor the death, because death is a very, very powerful energy. The universal energy of transformation is death. And I again say, without death there is no birth and no rebirth. So change your emotions toward the death, accepting death, giving the love and respect to death, and stop complaining. Just stop complaining. If the death is entering your life, stop complaining, because death can enter in any form. They can end your business, they can create a sudden change, but you have to accept it. And same time giving the love and respect. That's the most important thing. That's the purpose of me to making this video, because mostly people are connected with this month is only for their ancestral blessing. But this month, especially the Pitr Paksh, it's for honoring the death. It's for giving the respect and love toward the death, because you cannot change the karma of your ancestor. But if you are regular worshipping the death or doing the meditation on a death, you have a power. You will get the power to change the cycle, especially your ancestor cycle. You get the power to break the inheritance curses, the generation curses, the pattern, the linkage which is coming in your bloodline from one to next generation. You have a power to transform it. As I mentioned in my previous video about the generation curses, the curse you are not getting married to your true love, the curse of backwardness, every time you go forward automatically going backward, the curses of delay marriage, the curses of no marriage, So the curses of diversion, so any type of generation curses, you get a power to break it. You get a power to protect yourself from your ancestor attack. So this is a special month to worship on a death, and that is the purpose to make this video. So if you like this video, please do like, subscribe and share my channel. And thank you so much for your lovely support. And if you are interested in a reading or learning a different type of sadhana, you can contact me. And thank you for supporting Patreon, and special thanks to the Darwin Bharo Singh, who are supporting me always like a friend. And so if you want to learn something deep, you can be the member of my channel, or you can read my book, which is available on Amazon Kindle. So thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.